Hello guys, this is Tovar with Red Path Performance Group. This time coming to you from my basement gym in this, I think that was very appropriate during this COVID-19 quarantine that we're all inside, doing what we can to stay active, to stay fit, to stay sane. So anyway, this is the space where I spend most of my nights nowadays. And today I wanted to do an honest review about the product that actually made me start this channel and these boot reviews and gear reviews, which are the Salomon Forces Speed Assault boot. So a couple of years ago, I was training to participate in an event called the Death Race, which unfortunately in the end I could not participate, but I trained really hard for it. And one of the main things about this event is that you're going to spend anywhere from 2 to 4 days on your feet, most likely in the wet environment of the rivers and mountains of Vermont. So under those conditions, the footwear that you choose to wear is definitely going to play a factor in how comfortable you're going to be throughout the long hours. If you're going to develop any type of foot issues like blisters, trench foot, etc., etc. So I did a lot of research to choose the correct footwear for that competition that I never ended up participating in. But one of my options was this guy, were the Speed Assault Salomon Forces boots. Now, why this is the product that made me start doing reviews is because if you go on YouTube or just go for reviews, it was ridiculous. It was a guy basically unboxing them and walking in them in his yard. How's that going to tell me how these perform after 3 or 4 days in the woods, right? So anyway, I ended up purchasing them. I ended up using them, and I've had them now for, let's say, maybe like 2 years, and I can give you an honest review after 2 years of use, right? So as the most, if you want the specs specifically, the websites that sell them, and even the Salomon website has all the specific features. I'm going to talk about the ones that I like the most and the ones that I didn't like. So let's start off telling you that it's a very light boot. It comes at 320 grams, which is for a size 9. I wear a size 9.5. They're super light construction. I love that. That's great. I can tell you that probably the most important test that I had for these boots is that this was my footwear in Thailand for a 12-day trip. So I packed only this and my running shoes and of course some sandals, but this was my main footwear throughout the whole trip. So as you can imagine, Thailand is a very humid environment. I was hiking, I was going through rivers, I had a very active vacation there, and these guys performed great. They do dry fast. They do not have a drainage system per se. There's no draining holes, and it doesn't drain anything through the sole like other type of boots. But they do drain, I would say, 8 out of 10 on the drainage. The material, the textile, really expels water as you start walking. As soon as you walk, you can see the water coming out of the material because it's so lightweight. So that, for me, that was fantastic. Another thing that I really like about this shoe is that it has Salomon's SensiFit, which is basically the inner structure of the material of the shoe goes from the midsole all the way to the lacing system, right? So when you tie them, it actually cradles your foot and gives you a very nice, secure fit. That is probably the main reason why I keep using Salomon shoes above anything else for really technical terrain or stuff like that. It's really, really, really great. As you can already tell, staying on that, it has the speed lacing system. You basically just pull, secure. Salomon's shoelaces are made of Kevlar, so I still have to see, yet to see Salomon shoelaces to break. I actually purchased them for other shoes. And then it has a little lace pocket right here. So now it's out of sight, out of mind, right? So That's also a nice feature about it. Salomon has it in a lot of their shoes. As you can see, you have some rubber here in the toe cap to protect you, which is great. It comes really handy when you're dealing with trail and difficult terrain, roots and stuff like that. One of the things that I really love about this boot is the technology they have on their sole. As you can see, the lugs are semi-aggressive. There's chevron material there. I've never slipped in these boots. It's fantastic. Funny story, I actually, on the same year, I used them both in Thailand and in Iceland. So they perform great in both environments. Of course, you know, when I was in Iceland, I used a way thicker sock than when I was in Thailand, right? But they performed really, really, really great. Now, overall, I think it's a very good boot for wet environments. It also, I like a lot that it has a very nice structure in the heel. It's very rigid, which in combination with the sense of it, helps you to really have your foot really locked in. So like I said, for technical terrain, this is an amazing boot. Now, thing that I don't like, it's that for me, it doesn't feel like a boot. So even though you can feel that it has a slightly higher upper, the material here in the back, it's very soft, which, you know, it's great because when you're doing it to takeoff, it kind of like does this, so the back of your ankle is super comfortable, right? You just have the rigid heel, and then as you take off, boom, right? You have all this comfort. As you are moving through difficult terrain and you twist your foot in one direction or the other, great, you have all this comfort. But then it defeats the purpose of having ankle support. So for me, a boot, let's start with it. For me, a boot should provide some ankle support. So for me, this is just a high sneaker. So when I really tighten this, I can feel a very secure fit on the front of my ankle, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my ankle is protected, let's say from rolling over or just, you know, the nice support in the ankle is not 360 like I would expect with a boot. So for me, this is more like a sneaker, like a tall sneaker rather than a boot. So that's the one thing that I don't like. That's the one thing that I really dislike, is that for me, these are not really boots, right? So put them on, you can see, so this is my ankle, right here is my malleolus, and there's not a stable material that holds there. The material that is there, it's actually the soft material. So if I tighten the boot, right? My foot is super secure, but you know, there's not additional protection in my ankle. I can actually just expose it just like that, right? So for me, it's kind of like a good rugged sneaker, but it's not really a boot. That would be my only quote unquote negative feedback. Other than that, if that's something that is not a deal breaker for you, that you're just looking for light, rugged footwear to go on your adventures in wet environment, then definitely these are the ones. If you're looking for a boot, I would suggest to go with other options that Salomon has to offer. They have the XA Mid, for example. They do a tactical version of the Quest, which is their hiking boots. So if you're looking for boots, carry weight, ankle support, go one of those. If you're looking for a rugged option for wet environment, grippy, very durable, as I told you, it's been through very you know, aggressive environments, then this is great. The one failure that I had with these boots over 2 years is, you can see right there, it's just this material. This is some type of thermal seam. It's not really stitched, so it just started to fall apart. It doesn't change at all the performance of the footwear. I had it also on the other side. For whatever reason, it's only on the inside that I see that. So I don't know if it was the material giving in, of maybe just the rubbing. As you know, when you're in the mountains, sometimes you rub against your gear, you rub against each other. I was wearing spikes with this at some point, so maybe as I was walking, I just, you know, kind of ripped it apart. I really don't know how this happened. But to be honest, it doesn't matter, because Salomon has great customer service and they sent me actually a new pair. they sent me a new pair just for that, which is amazing. So thanks for that, Salomon. I have a new pair of boots sitting in my closet for when these ones finally break, which I don't see them happening in a long time. So that's the honest review of the Salomon Speed Assault Salomon Forces. They run usually for $160. This is the burro color. They're usually $160 depending on where you look at, $159 or $160. But usually they're on sale, so it's easy to find them on sale as low as $110, $100. I've seen a couple. It's very easy to find them on sale, so definitely look out for those sales. Right now it's Memorial, when we're shooting this video, Memorial Day is around the corner. A lot of websites have sales right now, so it's a good opportunity to get a new pair of boots. By the time we're all able to go outside, it's gonna be wet, it's gonna be muddy, it's gonna be hot, so great option out there. That's an honest review. Leave your comments, tag, like, share. As usual, let me know what else you want to see. I'll be seeing you again in another episode of Honest Review.